Good morning, everybody. I'm going to show you today how I put in a zipper facing and a concealed zipper so that the actual tape, raw tape, is not shown on the inside. So we're going to need a few things for this little project. You're going to need your continuous zipper tape, and you're going to need a zipper pull, obviously. We're going to need a finished zipper tape, which is about 8 3/4 with the pull attached. For this particular pocket, we have 2 pieces of fabric that have been interfaced, and I have no problem using up my scraps for pocket linings and such. So these happen to be 9 by 7 1/4 inch, 9 by 9 width. It's longer than I need for my Lola pocket, but it's easier to make them shorter than longer. So have those. We will use what's called the Score Craft adhesive tape. This is from Amazon. It's not meant for bag making at all, but it works perfectly when you are positioning your zipper in. Otherwise, I don't suggest that you use it in your bag making, other than for zippers. Of course, you're going to need some clips. Gotta have clips. And so let's start with something that challenges some people, and that is getting the zipper pull on. So here I have a length of the zipper tape, and I have my pull. It's pretty simple, but easy for me to say because I've done it a million times. I'm going to get rid of these extra threads so it's pretty. We'll start with a flush edge, so you've trimmed it off so it's nice and even. And you're going to take your pull, you're going to slip it on the left side. And then you're going to take the right side and you're going to insert it in. And you want to, I know you probably can't see this, but you want to look inside the channel of the zipper pull. And the 2 zipper tapes should be even. Not necessarily at the top, but they should be even in the channel. And you can see that. Then you're going to flip it over, put it on a flat surface, and use your 2 fingers, one on either side of the tape, and just pull. It really is that simple. I don't know why we need to have forks and tools and $50 tools to put on a zipper pull. I'll even do it again to show you that it wasn't just blind luck. So we have this on the left, putting the pull in. This is on the right, putting this on the inside. We're checking inside the channel to see that they are even as far as the tops are aligned. Of course, now this is popping out. Okay, so we're looking, looks good. Lay it on your flat surface, pull the zipper pull so it's going to the right, and you have it. So don't be afraid to put on the pulls. They can really elevate your bag when you have something fancy. This is not fancy, this just came with the Yahoga tape, but I think I have a couple of thousand of them by now. So that is that. Then let's talk about a little bit of prep work here. So here we have one of the linings for the Lola that I'm making, the last Lola for a while, I think. And I have made this zipper facing. This is cut from a scrap of the lining I had left over. Tried to use up my scraps. And then the back, and this is a 2 inch by 9 inch piece. I've simply drawn a line, I don't know if you can see this. I've drawn a line down the center, and then I draw 1/4 inch from either of those lines to get a 1/2 inch margin, and then I draw 3/4 inch on this side. And you end up with this guide, if you will, when you're going to sew it onto the bag. And then we've marked the center of the facing. Then we're going to get our ruler, move this out of the way. And this is for the Lola bag, so it'll be different for other bags. But this is our piece here. We have it centered. And we're going to use our big ruler on our grid mat. And we're going to come down 1.5 inches from the top of the bag. And you know, it looks different though, because from the top of the dome part. So it's not top from this side, but top from the dome. And then we're going to put our zipper facing so it's centered. And centered is actually over here. You should mark the center. Okay, right there. There should be about 2 inches, not about, there should be 2 inches on either side. And then you're going to take a pin. I don't use pins very often, but I do use it for this, just to secure them in place. When we get done with this, all the prep work, we'll go to the sewing machine and sew this. But make sure it's perfect. Little odd angle up here. Okay. So that's that. And you'll note that this it's face down, so it's right sides together. Okay, so there's that. We'll take that to the sewing machine and sew it. And then we're going to get our zipper pocket ready. So we have our 2 pieces, excuse me, 2 pieces, and we have our prepared zipper tape, which I said was about 8 3/4. And we're going to take some clips, excuse me, get some ready here. My little pretty posh bag from Carissa. I love this guy. Holds my clips. All right, so we're going to take our zipper tape, and we're putting the tape wrong side to right side on the first piece here. And we're centering the tape. Of course, it's black, so you won't be able to see it, but I'll show you anyhow in a second. So we are putting our zipper, so it's wrong side to the right side. Okay, and then we're just going to clip that in place a little bit more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our other zipper piece and we're going to put it on this side. Basically, we can flip it over so it's easier to see. Line up the sides of the fabric. And we're going to clip this in place as well. Make sure the top of the zipper tape is aligned with the fabric. All right, and when you get done, you will have, it'll look like this. And I'll show you this way, like this. So you have, basically, this is your zipper pull, and the zipper tape is right side up, and that's your pocket. And then we're going to sew both sides of this. When we get done, we'll have this cool little pocket piece, and when you open the zipper up, you'll see it's the inside of the pocket lining, the right side. So put this back. So this is another thing that we will go to the sewing machine. And so we're going to sew this, and we're going to sew our lining, our facing to our lining. So, all right, who's ready to sew? My favorite part. But you must have prep work before you can sew. It's just kind of like cooking. So we have our zipper facing attached with pins to our lining, and we're going to, with my favorite zipper foot, if I can get that behind, we're going to sew. I'll show you. We're going to sew just 2 lines. We're going to sew the top 2 horizontal lines, not the sides that people normally do, but a lot of you know this trick already. And that way we don't get puckery corners when we turn the facing. So we're going to start, I'm going to move this pin out of the way. We're going to start right where I have drawn that pivot point. We're going to sink our needle right there. And I am on about a 3.0 stitch length. And we're going to go forward, backwards, same amount. And we're going to just follow that stitch line all the way to the end. You want to be very precise when where you start and stop when you're doing these types of zipper insertions. And you do want to backstitch when you start and stop as well. So I can take my single stitch precision. Now we're going to cut this. I know I probably could just go ahead and just lift up the threads and start stitching it with that, but old habits die hard. So we're going to put it on this side. Again, making sure that our needle is sunk in the exact same position as the other one. Give it a couple of stitches, back stitch, and keep going all the way down on the other line. I am using black thread so you can see it, but honestly, because I'm lazy, I don't want to change it, but it's fine for this because you're not going to see the stitches. But just wanted to be honest, but also you'll be able to see it for a change too. All right, let's finish this little part up. Now we're going to go step by step. And I'll pull that off the machine. And we will we'll give her a haircut. I think I'm going to move this camera back just a little bit so you can see some of this better. Okay, so we have just those two horizontal lines sewn, and then we're going to, you cannot see any of this, I'm going to change this position. We're going to take our pen here, and we're going to, starting at the end, we're going to draw a long diagonal line. Now normally you've been taught to draw short ones, but this was a tip from Peggy, and what it does is it gives you a bit more tail to grab onto when you pull this to the back. I'll show you my little artwork there. You see it? So now we're going to fold this kind of in half, like so. Make sure that this is folded in half nicely. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut right down the middle of that line that we drew, the center line. That just gets us started so that we can continue without having to use, I don't know, rotary cutter. Now we're just going to cut the line like you always do. Except we're going to stop at that large V, cut right into, next to, but not into, the end of our stitch, horizontal stitches. And the more and more careful you are about where you sew and where you snip into, you'll find that you're going to get really perfect boxed edges when you start learning how to do your facings like this. So that's that. And I'll do it for the other side. I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting down the line, stopping at the V, cutting into it. I'll go this way. Not into it, up to it. And we have that. So that we're going to do next is take it to the iron and we're going to press it. And then we're going to pull the facing to the back. And I'll show you what a beautiful little window that's going to make for our zipper. So that's how you install a standard zippered facing. I'm not going to leave the machine just yet. I'm going to go ahead and sew up the zipper pocket, and then I'll do the pressing at the machine and come back and show you that. So now we're going to sew our zipper pocket, and we already showed you in the previous video or earlier how to attach this. So this is simple. We're going to increase our stitch length to about 3.5, 3.25, which is typical. And we're using my favorite zipper foot, which is not the skinny foot, but the other one. And we're using the edge of the zipper as our margin. And we're just going to sew from end to end. And back stitching when you get to the tape part. You do want your thread to match your zipper tape, especially on the top, because it will show on the inside of the bag sometimes. So just make sure that your thread matches your zipper tape and your fabric. And then we're going to flip this over on this side. And rinse, repeat. This is not a baste, this is a real stitch. I hardly ever baste, to be honest. Move the zipper pull out of the way, but you have plenty of room, so there's no need to open up the zipper in this case. Then we will cut off our threads. And we have our nice zipper, which will be inserted after I press it and iron out the... And we're back. I actually broke my other tripod in the making of the last video, which is probably a godsend because I found this tripod, which is, I think, better. So things happen for a reason sometimes, huh? So what we've done is you are my we have pressed the zipper tape open and pressed the back of the pocket open like so. Just give it a good press. It's going to go face up on our work surface. We have pressed our facing to the back, pulled it through. Looks pretty. There's no pokey wrinkles in the corner because we're not sewing those side lines. And then we're using those extra long triangle pieces that Peggy taught us how to do to pull that out. So it's a very nice box window. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some of our score, I think it's SKOR tape if you are interested, but it's been written about quite a bit in CBM. We're going to take this tape, we're going to take a piece, and we're going to go not all the way from end to end, just about probably 3/4 of an inch on either side. And we're going to go to the very end of the zipper tape. My machine can handle sewing this tape, but maybe yours can't, and so it's a good practice to, whenever possible, avoid having sticky tape that's going to possibly hit your needle. There's no reason for it to if you can avoid it. It'll gum up your needle. Even the best of machines sometimes get gummed up. So use your tape wisely, and your machine and you will be happy. I'm going to straighten this out. And we're just going to give it a good press. And the goal here is, once we remove this tape, is we're going to remove the top tape. We're going to take our lining piece. We're going to match up the sides of the facing with the sides of the pocket because they're both the same width. And then we're going to press it in place. We're going to fold this piece up, remove the tape, fold it down, make sure everything is perfect, and then we will put a few pins in it, or a pin since I only have one, and that will be our beginning before we go back to sewing. So I'm going to take this off. Looks so pretty. I'm going to peel off this tape. I say that, it never peels off very easily. Oh my gosh, I should go get a lottery ticket or something, huh? Woohoo! All right, so that peeled off. That never happens. We're going to match up our sides. Make sure your little zipper pull is in. We're matching up the sides, like so. Okay, put this guy up here. And then we're going to bring up this side. Can a girl get lucky twice in the same day? That came out wrong, but anyhow. Peel off the tape. Well, I don't know. Definitely lottery time. Pull this down. And now we're just going to adjust it. This is repositionable sticky tape. It really isn't, like I said, it's not meant for bag making, but it's perfect for doing zipper installations, this part here. It just basically holds it in place. So you're gonna fuss with it till you like it. You can move the tape up, move the lining up higher, so you have just the right amount of tape showing. It really is up to you. You can move this box can go up to a 1/2 inch box, but I like it to have, I don't like that much tape showing. So once you're happy, we're gonna pop a couple of pins in, like so. Even though it's taped on, it's not taped super securely. So we'll just put a pin in here. And we're gonna put a pin in here if I have one handy, but I don't, so just pretend. And we are ready to go back to the sewing machine. It's gonna be so pretty. So, meet you over there. So now we're ready to sew the zipper in place. A little bit different than what you might be used to, but you need to have the zipper going to the top and to the bottom, just like so. You can see it like that. And we're going to start sewing. You can sew any way you'd like. I like to start, it's just me, on the bottom about 1 inch in. I use my favorite zipper foot as my guide to go right against the edge of the facing. Hopefully I won't stab myself with these pins. Okay. And we're going to sink it. Keep your threads to the back because we don't want nesting. And this, I changed my thread to white because I don't really want to have the black stand out so much. The white thread is going to be much more forgiving. So I'm going to do a back stitch when I start and stop. Most of the time though, if you want to be professional and learn the best tips, you would want to have a long tail, and then you would bring the tails to the back and tie them off so there is no back stitching. But sometimes you can get away with it, like today. So we're going to go. Now we're just going to follow. Hopefully you can see me. I changed my tripod and the angle. I'm hoping it's better for you. We'll see. So just take it slow. Follow the edge of the lining. I think I said facing before. I meant lining. The box. Move the pin so I don't stab myself. And as you get towards the zipper head, you want to just lift up your presser foot and gently pull it away so it's not in the way. But you want to be careful you don't distort the box as you do that. And then we're going to make a nice pivot. And you just learn to eyeball kind of when the right time to turn. And it's and then we're going to come down the other side. And once you get a little bit past, you can take out your pin. You can put your zipper back where it belongs, just so it's out of the way, coming down the home stretch. And you might be wondering, why are we doing it this way? You'll see in the end, once we fold the top pocket piece down, there's not going to be any visible raw zipper tape inside the pocket, which is important to some, like me, and it's not important to others. But if you're making a bag for somebody, you definitely want to use this technique, in my opinion. So we're going to come down. And sometimes when you get down to the stopping point, it may or may not line up with where you want to end. So you can just take your needle, lift it up, and put it exactly where it needs to be. And then we proceed. We're going to sew over the existing stitch line and even give it one back stitch. Pick up. threads. And I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see her, but she turned out really pretty. Can you see? That's kind of hard to see, huh? Well, it's pretty. So what we're going to do next is going to flip her over, and we're going to match up the side seams with some clips. And just clip it in place along the side. Because of the way that we do our pocket, you'll see there's a noticeable 1/2 inch extra piece of material. It's not worth it to worry about it. You could cut your zipper pocket pieces if you wanted to avoid that. But in the famous words of Kelley, just lop it off. Right, Carissa? All right, so we're just gonna lop it off. Use your other piece as your guide. And because we are making the Lola bag, we're gonna, well, actually, we don't really want the pocket to be that long. That's why I told you before that you have the option now of making it shorter or longer. So I'm gonna cut it now I'm gonna cut about a 1/2 inch more off. We don't want it to be into the bottom of the bag. So you might want to cut your pocket pieces a good 3/4 of an inch less. All right, so now we're going to put one clip here and one clip here, and we are going to sew just enough to create a jog so that when we do actually finally sew the pocket up, that we will be able to have a really nice clean 1/4 inch crisp margin to turn on. You'll see, well, you already saw that before when I turned the last bag, I think. So we're going to basically do this right. So, yeah. Looks pretty. Okay. So we're going to start this side here. About, I'm going to say about 3/4 of an inch away, maybe even actually 1/2 inch away, because you want a big enough hole to bring all of the lining through when we do our Lola birthing. And we're just going to go up about 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, come back up. Now we're going to pivot it, and then we're going to go all the way up to the top. And now we're at about a, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And we're keeping the lining out of the way. I'm not sure if you can see that. When you get to the zipper, and you can hear it, let's make sure we're not hitting the zipper. Move the zipper out of the way. When you get to the teeth, you'll be able to hear it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. So back stitch over the teeth area. Do that. Now we're going to do this side. Since I can't sew backwards, I'm going to sew it upside down. Same difference. I'm going to go 1/2 inch. We're going to pivot. And then we're going to sew all the way up 3/8 of an inch. Making sure that our lining is out of the way. When you get to the teeth, backstitch. There's that. And then if you want, you can trim the pocket seams over here. I don't think I need to. They're pretty, looks pretty nice. And then when you bring it all out in front and open up your zipper, you have a beautiful zipper pocket. Now I made a mistake. I'm going to show you because I'm honest like that. I should have had black thread on the bottom when I sewed my zipper in. So I have white on top. I should have had black on the bottom. It actually looks okay, so I'm not very upset, or not upset at all, but try to aim for having the thread be the same color as your zipper tape when you do that final sewing. So that's it for the zipper pocket. And she's going to go into a beautiful Lola for the next couple of days. And up next I'll show you how I do my slip pockets.